The Joe Rogan Experience.
I remember you saying that too about training, that you would get up in the morning and train because you wanted an edge. You wanted to know that you were training while they were asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember thinking that back when I was doing martial arts. I remember reading that. I'm like, I want to do that too. I'd copy a lot of shit you did.
Well, you always have to have, and even if it's not so, you have to have, and that's where delusion comes in, because delusion is only delusional when you don't accomplish the goals of making your delusions a reality.
Right.
That's when it's delusional.
Right. You're just enforcing your mindset.
Oh, yeah, to allow those delusions to be the reality of your assessment.
Now, when you're doing this and you're getting up in the morning and running, does this do you feel like you felt in the old days? I don't mean physically, I mean the mind, like you're preparing for war again. Does this like reignite those old thoughts? The way you were when you were the champ, the way you were when you were on your way to the title. Like this is a whole new way of life.
You know what's really interesting? That sometimes periodically, not real, but sometimes I struggle with the fact that, wow, there's a possibility I can really hurt somebody.
Like you don't want to hurt them. What do you mean when you struggle with the possibility that you could hurt them?
That is sometimes, it's orgasmic sometimes. Yeah.
Like some fights, like particularly like Tyrell Biggs or someone that you had problems with, someone that you had animosity towards, so when you could finally get your hands on them.
Hey, what does it mean when fighting gets you erect? What does that mean?
It's a good question. Means you're getting excited.
Yeah.
So that's going through your mind right now.
Well, that's how I get when I was a kid, and sometimes I get the twinkle.
The twinkle.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like you reached a state as a human being, as a champion, as a ferocious fighter. You reached a state of ability and of accomplishment that very few humans will ever touch and feel. That's why I'm asking you, when you're running, when you're hitting the bag, when that heart's beating again, and you know who you are. You're Mike motherfucking Tyson. So when you're doing all this shit again, you're still Mike Tyson. Those thoughts have got to be burning inside you again. It's got to be pretty wild.
I don't know. It's wild, but I believe it's rightfully so to be that way, and I just know how to. I don't think I mastered it, but I just know how to deal with it. I don't let it overwhelm me.
No, well, of course not. But saying that it gets you orgasmic, that's a strange thing to say.
Well, that's just what I want. I wanted to find out because you're really bright, and I thought you would figure it. No, I'm being very serious.
No, I know. I know you're being serious, but I mean, no one will understand that other than you. Like that's your mindset. Like no one will. But I think that like all the things we were talking about before, the way you drive yourself, the way you push yourself, the way you put yourself into that frame of mind, no one's going to understand that other than you. So no one's going to understand you getting an erection from thinking about hurting someone more than you will. You're the only.
There has to be fear-based in somewhere.
Fear-based? Maybe. Or maybe just, maybe not fear-based, but maybe embracing the fact that you're going to go into this with everything that you have, the chaos of it all. And the ultimate goal is to hurt somebody. The ultimate goal is to be extremely successful. The way you can be extremely successful, the thing you do great, is to crush people. So to have that encompass everything.
This fighting is the only thing I don't ask Allah for. I just don't ask him for help for that.
You don't ask him for help for fighting?
Yeah.
Because you think you got it?
No, I just don't think.
You don't think you should ask?
I just don't want to be involved with that kind of mindset in Allah.
So,
people do. They go to. I just don't because it's just. I don't like the way I think, and I don't want God to be, involved with the way I think at that time.
Well, this is what's so interesting to me about you fighting again, because of the conversation that we had the last time you were here, that you didn't want to reignite your ego. Clearly, your ego is blazing right now. I mean, you're ready to go.
Well, maybe because I'm an addict, a former addict, and I'm under a narcotic ring. The camera's on me.
Yeah.
This is a big narcotic, and maybe
right.
that has something to do with it as well. But I like to think it's under control until the night of the event.
the night of the event. So it's the addiction will get purged with the performance.
Yeah, that's why I was doing if you don't mind me to interrupt for a second, I was the book that talks to you, what do they call it, audio book, and it was called The Gene Key.
Okay.
This book, and the book was explaining about why that we are who we are in that perspective, that most of the people like you and myself and people just in general who is not at that level, even anyone that have a creative mind, is victimized to depression. And the reason is because whatever it is that causes that creativity is not fed the proper information that is successful and that is accepted in whatever space of the brain or the mind that wants to be accepted and is not accepted, it crumbles. Does that make sense?
Episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience are now free on Spotify. That's right, they're free. From September 1st to December 1st, they're going to be available everywhere. But after December 1st, they will only be available on Spotify, but they will be free. That includes the video. The video will also be there. It'll also be free. That's all we're asking. Just go download Spotify. Much love. Bye-bye.